Hey guys, today is a new episode of Afroplug Podcast. I hope everyone is okay. So today we have a special guest because he's one of my inspiration, and his name, I think you're all producers, So it's Melo-X, man. Melo-X. Okay. The big boss, the big legend. I think he produced for legendary
Amen.
artists like Beyoncé, Little Sims, Raury, Ari Lennox, and more and more. He's a Grammy winner too. So he's really an inspiration. That's why I really invite him because I think in Afroplug, um, it's Afro music. We create Afro music, so it's important to know really the people who make innovation in this type of music and really um, be innovator and be inspired. So thanks a lot, Melo-X, for being there. I'm really appreciate. Bye,
Great intro, yeah. Amazing intro. Thank you.
welcome. So yes, first we want to know how did you start? What time you said, I want to make music?
And uh I guess when I started like actually making music, probably when I was like 14, started like recording myself. Me and my friends would rap. I was into poetry and then I started rapping. And yeah, it was probably around 14. And I always did the beatboxing. I always like either did the drumming. You know what I mean? When we was in school, we used to have like the pencils and shit and the tape,
Turns up, yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So we was doing that. So I was like the rhythm guy when we would all rap, but then I would also rap. So I think that kind of like got me into production as well eventually. Just like, you know, being the person who
So
kept
I know
the
you
kept
you s- okay. So I know you sing too. So you sing later, or yeah, it was at the same time.
It was at the same time, I think, I had a toy recorder when I was like maybe 7 or 8,
Okay.
between 8, 9. Like I had a toy recorder and I still have the tape and I have the mixer. I transferred them over to MP3, but I'm like, that was probably my first mixtape because I was just recording everything. I was recording the radio, recording myself singing the songs, like singing all kind of R&B too. And then also recorded like me and my sister having like a Your Mama So Fat competition, battle. Um, so I think around that time, uh, I could hear myself just that young. Like I was always singing. And even when I did start rapping, I was singing, but my singing was kept to like the choruses of the song or something. I think once I started DJing in the city, hearing all this different kind of music, I started implementing more of that into my sound, probably around like 2007 or so, 2007 or so. It's like I started going hand with just full records, singing and, doing all types of things. My version of singing, I harmonize very well with myself. That's what I like to say. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I ain't a singer. I don't sing, but you know what I mean? Sing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I see. So um, how did you? When did you have the introduction of software of DAW, and you start really to use music production like the computer?
The first time I made, the first time I probably made a beat, like, oh, I'm making a beat, was probably a PlayStation MTV beat.
Every time, almost every guest say the same
Yeah,
thing.
nah. Because at that time we was playing, at that time,
Mm-hmm.
around that time is like Sega Saturn time. I might be a little too old. And then Nintendo 64 time at PlayStation, they had Parappa the Rapper. Remember that game? It's like a rapping game. You know, they had PlayStation just had it a lot as far as like those interactive games. So when I learned that I could make a beat, it was like it's all I played, you know. But then I got a keyboard from Radio Shack, which allowed me to like record 8 tracks, no looping. You could just record like 3 minutes or so, like 7 minutes of 8 tracks. So on that keyboard, I started making beats, and all my beats were like, I had to make the drum part first, play it for like 4 minutes, then play the keys, like the intro, chorus, then do the bass, intro, chorus, and then the sample. I would sample into it too. So once I started doing that, the first program I just reached limitations, and then the first program I used was called Acoustica. I think it's called Mixcraft now.
Okay, cool. Mixcraft. Okay.
But the original name was Acoustica.
All right.
All you could do is record multi-tracks. There was no effects, you could probably mix, volume up, down, but there's no effects, no none, just record straight. And then I would use like Cool Edit Pro or Audacity to add effects.
Bring
it in the program, so it was kind of like a loop, like record in there, bring the stuff I want to add effects to, bring it out into Cool Edit Pro to bring it back, So that was like my first program that I worked with, Acoustica. Vintage.
Did you make an instrument school, something like this, just by ears and no?
Originally, it was by ear. A lot of my mixtapes and projects I put out when I was in junior high school had a lot. I was just inspired by a lot of stuff. Had a lot of like skits in there where I would do sound design. I didn't know that's what I was doing. Like, acting like we walking out the store and I gotta get the sound of, people outside. And I didn't understand that's what I was doing. But I was doing that from the jump. I just kind of had sound design and like production at the same time, So I think maybe in 2000, I dropped out of college. And then I went to the Institute of Audio Research. It's called IAR. Doesn't exist now, but it existed.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them, yo. Shout out to them. Like they was around from like the 80s. They one of those things where if you're listening to the radio driving, you'll hear a commercial on the radio. Like, are you an upcoming music producer and you want to get your sound to the latest? Your research. So I've been hearing that my whole time. I'm like, I'm gonna go there, yo. So I went there, passed, but that was when I first had like a class that was the sound that was composing for film. Like I had a class like that. I was like, oh, that's what I've been doing. But it was like, all right, here's this scene with nothing, no sound at all. And you have to put the sound. It was like they had like a scene from Speed with Keanu Reeves when the bus is like crashing under a train station and there's no sound. So it was like, you gotta put the sound of the train crashing in the thing, but then you gotta put the sound of the screeching sound, but then you gotta put like the underground just room tone of just being underground. You gotta put the music because it gotta be adrenaline. It's like, oh, this is what they do. Ooh. So I just like fell in love with that as well. And in that school, I also got put onto like MF Doom. I was like the Caribbean kid in there. They had a bunch of other Caribbean kids.
Wait, you saw MF Doom in school?
No, I got put onto him in that school. So I got put onto him.
Okay.
I had like a class teacher, like playing. I had a class that the teacher would play music and then have us talk about it. And he played his video. I think it's Food. I think was it that video? No, all caps of the video he played. I was like, what the? And then I remember, because I'm like, I recognize this. And I remember he used to play on BCAT, which was like a community station in Brooklyn. And I remember seeing, I was like, yo, they playing this in school. I'm like, who is this guy? I gotta look it up now. But yeah, so that school was cool. That's where I like took classes. I also took music classes in high school. I was in the school band and all that as well. So I got some training. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So a lot of my earth.
Yes, but you say I got some, but I think is your foundation. Even it's not really closely, but I think it's really important. Even as you said, you don't even know really what you were doing, but it's you. It was your foundation. Nice. So okay, that's very interesting. And so it's like you were ready for this, even you unconsciously. So
Yeah, subconsciously.
yeah, and I remember the first time I saw you was one of my friend in French Guyana who speak about you because as you know, I'm a producer too, and I was like you, I was in French Guyana, but searching alternatives. Yeah, you have to listen. This guy Melo. And I remember I saw video review of the Akai. I think it was something. I said, "Damn, that's crazy." And how did you were? I know you love the J Dilla, but were you inspired about J Dilla this time or after, or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Jay Dilla is my favorite producer for sure. I think. So you're my little guy.
My guy, I just finished the read the donut the donut book. I just finished to read the donut
Oh yeah,
book.
yeah.
That was
I'm on
really nice.
I'm on my second reader.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And
that's a taking the second read I'm doing now is like taking notes, like my own notes.
yeah.
Also on some school textbook, like a sub.
Yes, that was crazy, Eddie. As you said, I think everyone will listen this podcast. You have to really read all books. The white book, I don't remember. The brown book, the donuts, because that's even you want to make samples who really understand, not just YouTube tutorial of people say, "Hey, you have to sample like this." Everything
Yeah,
is writing, because it's really his friends and people, we were with him, spoke about the technique. And yes, so were you inspired?
Oh yeah. I mean, the way I got put onto him first,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, just to show you the beginning of the inspiration, was when I started producing and sampling. I I was like, I need drums, and then I was like, let me listen to my favorite rap albums, all the rap CDs I got. Let me listen to all of them, and let me take all the drums I could take. So I was taking Primo drums, I was taking Pete Rock drums, and then I would be taking JD drums from different joints. So like Tribe Called Quest album, like, these different. Like, yo, this is crazy. Like, so I got put onto him as JD, just knowing like, yo, that's one of the producers I like all his beats is fire. And then it was like MySpace days, and his music was just like, hey, I think him and maybe him and Manlin's project came out, or it was just blowing up on MySpace, but it was J Dilla. I was on JD, like JD. I didn't really know, I was like, who's this? Like, and then I was interning at a label called BBC. Well, the label's called K7, and I was interning at their Brooklyn location. They're under BCC, BBC, something like that. But anyway, they would pay me in MetroCard, like food for lunch, money for lunch, and then I could go into their archive and take any CD, anything I want. So they have, K7 has a crazy collection of just like projects they put out. They have this one thing called DJ Kicks, not a real DJ, but it's a project where they have producers remix a bunch of stuff. Like, Jazzy Jeff has done a few. They have an album from like Will I Am, like a fire rap album solo. It's just him. And then they had Welcome to Detroit from Jay Dilla. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, this is fire. And I was like, as I was doing research, I'm like, Jay Dilla, wait a minute. It's the same person. I started research. I'm like, oh, this is the same. It's like his other alias. And I was just like, yo. So yeah, I mean, one of the first songs that blew up for me online is called Treat Her Right, which is a freestyle over a Jay Dilla track. It's on a CD called J88 that they put out, Slim Village put out. But one of the songs on that was like one of the first songs that blew me up on the internet past, like just on another level of whatever else I was doing at that time.
Yes, that's nice. How did you have the idea, because I know you make marketing, even I think sometimes it was making by accident, but I know you make marketing. So how did you start, the like as I told you, the video say, okay, I will mix this one, I will make this beat, and you like this, I remember like this, So how did you start, try to record and everything?
That process, I think that process came from my live performances. From the time I started performing live, I would say around like, I can't remember the date, but I started performing and doing live beats at the same time. This is probably like 2008, 7 or something. Inspired just by my friends who were doing the same thing, performing like that machine drum or, early Flying Lotus days, just a bunch of different people, just artists, just seeing bands. I'm just like, I want to be I'm in the band too. Like I'm doing the percussion, I'm doing the samples, I'm doing doing that and just that becoming a thing like people knew me for. It was like, all right, let me bring that online. Let me bring that on YouTube. My friend's like, I put one up. Chuck was like, I bet. And the Maxwell remix, which is like the first one I put up that, that blew up. That remix was like a full remix project that I have a series of. I've done Amy Winehouse remix project, Raphael Sadiq, Maxwell, Erykah Badu, and Beyonce. And then I did a bunch of other ones that I didn't put out.
Too, I think. Adele. No?
And Adele, right? Adele, yeah. So I did. So the first live beat video I put out was for one of the Maxwell ones, and that blew up. He ended up hitting me up and sold me bought some rights to put it for him to play it at his show.
You don't try to complicate, to say, you were.
Yeah, no, all the way it inspired me was like, if I listened to something and I was like, oh, I would sample this. Or I was just like, I heard my own version, like, oh, I heard like what I would do. Then I knew that project, I could remix the whole thing. So when I heard like Amy Winehouse Back to Black, that was the first one I did, which was like a segue because her sound is like a vintage sound. So it's almost like I'm sampling something current. So that was the idea. And then it was like Raphael Sadiq's album, which was the same. I think it was, I forgot what the album was called. Come See. That's not well. Forgot the name, but it was kind of the same vibe, like vintage sounding. And then Maxwell album was like more modern R&B, modern sounded, his world. And I sampled from that. So those albums are just like when they tap into that energy, it's like it inspires me. And then I just realized, how much love and like the energy that circulates back to me when I did that. So I always knew out of all the music I'm doing, every now and then, if I get that inspiration, I just go straight into it and put it out and see what happens. So
okay. What's your favorite plugin? What's your free favorite plugin? So when you go into your DAW, you say, okay, I have to use it. Even it's a instrument or effect.
Trying to think, because now I've been using Reason as well. So I use Reason as a plugin in Ableton every now and then. but that kind of don't count because it's like 2 DAWs. So I would say the RX. I don't know if you know about the RX10. It's like it's an emulator of like a Akai S950.
Okay.
It's like a emulator of that. So you could make it sound like like some vintage. Like I really use it to make, when I'm making sample packs or making sounds, to give it like a old sample feel, you know, like that hip hop, you know, filtered.
Yeah, like a vintage thing, you know. But I see. Okay. And that's all. Only this.
That's why I use it all the time. So that, you know, that one, and then okay, I'll give you another one. That one, and what's the other one I always what's it called? It's from Arturia. It's called the Emulator. It's another vintage. It's like one of the first samplers, so they have like their version of it. I think it's called the Emulator 2.
Okay. So you use only emulator. You don't use new plugins, no?
Yeah. I use that's what I'm saying. The new one that I use now is the Reason plugin in Ableton. So I use all of Reason stuff. So
yeah.
like a object that I've been using a lot. Reason object. That one is dope. I use like their chord generators. It's cool. But yeah, that's the one that I've been using a lot now. And then also this other program called remixes. It's like a AI STEM program. Gave you a gem right there. I ain't gonna even talk about it again.
In Afroplug too, we have a tool for AI STEM, so you know it's free. Yeah.
No, that's why I'm saying
it's some beta version, but yes, it works well. You know,
I'm getting into that now.
Yes. So
yeah.
Thanks for. But you say you use Reason as a plugin. But what do you use?
Ableton.
Everything.
So I would say most of what has made my career, as far as like what people know me for, what has resonated with people to, like, you know, just amplify amplify myself and my brand, whatever. It's like all of that stuff was made in Fruity Loops.
Yes, this is the basic, man.
Fruity Loops was until maybe I would say like the Beyoncé film that I scored in 2016. That was all Fruity. That was Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops, not FL. Fruity Loops.
FL Studio. I still call it Fruity Loops because I had version 3.0. You know what I'm saying? But so FL Studio I used for that score, and then after that I started getting into like Ableton.
Okay.
Because I was performing, but I've been performing live with Ableton a long time as well. I just never made beats, music, scores, and things on it. Now is what I use fully, and I kind of use everything in there. You know, I'll do something in FL and then bring it into Ableton. I'll do, you know, samples on some of my samplers or whatever, bring it into Ableton. You know, or Reason, I'll either work in Reason or I'll upload something, or I'll open it up as a plugin, as a VST in Ableton and use it. You know, Ableton is like the go-to now. And also Beatmaker 3 on the iPad. I make a lot of stuff on there too.
You know, as I told you, I make an article about you.
Seen that? I read it
2 years ago. Did you like it?
Yeah. I liked it. It was like, oh, I don't know how they pop up because I got Google alerts, you know. But Google alerts now, it just show me Carmelo Anthony's sneakers. Because it'll be like, they call Carmelo Anthony, who's a basketball player, they call him Melo. And it'll be him and somebody else. So they put Melo-X Adidas or something. So I get all the Melo-X. Google alerts.
Okay, no?
All basketball related, my Google alerts.
So, yes, for me, you mean an example. I have some, you know, conversation with DJs and producers. And, you know, sometimes people say, because, you know, even me for remixes helped me a lot, you know. Even to be very verified on SoundCloud, having jigs, I have like 11 followers, you know. you're an example, because sometimes producers say, no, you have to make original, you have to you strike, blah, 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 blah. So I want, really, you shout out for us, the remixer. Please.
Yes. Unity, yo. I appreciate that, I appreciate that, man. I don't know if I feel like my name comes up when people talk about remixes, but I don't know, come up enough, you know what I'm saying? I think it does. So thank you for that. I'm glad that I'm in that community and in that space remixing. I feel like I remix, culture as well, life, just like, I like the fusion of things, especially musically. So appreciate that.
Yeah. No, you're really an inspiration, You're really an inspiration for this, no rules, no barriers, no everything, you do whatever you want, And yes, I was really inspired. It helped me a lot. So that's why I want all producers listen,
Thank you.
do whatever you want, man. Don't try, everyone has his own path, So
Yeah.
if you make remixes, do remixes. People know me more for remixes than original. That's nice, And by example, there are another guy, like a community on SoundCloud, and the selection stuff, named Clap. And Clap, he make a remixes of Rihanna. It was a Rihanna Super Bowl by the funk, So you never know, So
Yep. Yeah. And also just as far as like promoting yourself as a producer, if you do, or DJ, or if you do remixes, it's like having like original things and then remixes that can flow.
Exactly.
You might not have them on like all the DSPs, but you have them on SoundCloud, you have them on YouTube, you have them on TikTok, you have them on these places where they go flow and people see your name and they go search and play your original stuff or add the original stuff, and it's just a cycle, Yeah, I mean, it's a cycle that's
marketing. It's marketing,
Right.
Right now, we speak about, your biggest achievement. We have to speak about it, So congratulations, because for me, you're Caribbean, you're from, I think you're a child from, New York, and you have your original destiny, You don't try to be like, you. I love this, For me, that's why I think it's important, because actually everyone sounds the same, and you make part of people, you still like you understand, like Tibanen or Faren, as times they do whatever they want. I haven't it's an idea of your Faren say when is it starting, people laugh about them, about the song, what is what is this, and they use a cork triton, everybody use cork triton right now, so I want to know, do you have a collective or someone really inspire you, really motivate? Because I think it's not easy to be you, So as an artist, do you have someone? Let's say, yes, go Melo, continue.
Yeah, my wife is
Nice.
every day. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just be like, I'll be lazy. She just be kicking her. Come on, get that done. Where's the list? Take it out. Come on, let's go. So she's definitely motivated. And just hearing all my music. She was like, when you gonna put this out? Put this one out. Work on this now. This is fire. So she's the battery. My sister as well, since I've been a kid, she's been hearing every beat, me working on beats all day, all night. Like, they just hearing yeah, shout out to Reeks. So then my boy Jesse Boykins a third, big inspiration as well, and somebody who I've collabed with, done albums with, toured around the world. He's been like a friend, mentor, collaborator, partner in crime.
It's like your twin, no? It's like your twin.
Yeah, look. He went, look, quiet as kept. He with my kids right now. He the babysitter. He don't want his babysitter.
Shout out.
Big time in my life, And yeah, my mom, my family, like my friends, Low Friday in Brooklyn and Perp in Brooklyn, they've seen a lot of just the beginnings. Claude, Visionary Derry, he been my mentor since I was a kid. He the one that was like, yo, listen to this Amy Winehouse album. I was like, I should sample it. He was like, should. And then that started a whole, you know what I'm saying? I remember hearing it in his truck. So big up to Visionary Derry as well, Claude Derry. But yeah, so those people like that I, bond with, really the ones that inspire me and keep me motivated and every day, yeah, those are the ones.
Yeah, I just want to say it's really important, for our friends, even friends, family, even I know sometimes maybe some people who listen now or we see the video, sometimes not everyone support you. But if you are one people, two people, that's nice, do you. So yes, we already speak about the Beyonce thing, but I want really, I don't know, the article is old, so some people don't know really the story. So could you like resume in like even 30 seconds how did it happen for the first Beyonce collaboration and more and more?
Yeah. So the quick story.
Yes.
We went through it already. We kind of went through the remixes that I've done. So that was the inspiration. So when her self-titled album came out, I was like, ooh, I got the same energy. Ooh, I'll sample this. Oh, all right, I'm about to do it. So as soon as it came out, I ripped all of them on iTunes. I made it in like 4 days or something. And I put it out. And it blew up. It got taken down off of SoundCloud. Like one of the songs had like 100,000. So it was going crazy. Then they took it down. And the way I promoted it, I did like when Instagram had 15-second clip videos, I did a video for each remix, like a short video for each remix. That blew up on Instagram as well. Like when they first was using video, so they was like making it go. So then they took it down, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be sad about it. I'm gonna just do like I did with the Maxwell one. I'm gonna do a live beat video. So I did that one. I shot it at Sean Kelly Gallery in New York. It was more like an installation, like, I did like a projection that I designed, the lighting, and it was like a full piece.
Yeah, I remember.
So she seen that through Kwesi, who was working with her at the time. He was more of a creative director. He was like, yo, look at this. And she was like, that's fire. And they needed somebody to work on the tour, on like the intro for the tour. They wanted to remix a song from Future or something. Or it was like some different things. And they asked me to do the intro for the tour. So I did the intro for the tour. I said, as soon as they asked me what to do and gave me the details, I just sent them back something like an hour or something, just real quick. And like, you did these 3 versions already? And then they was like, all right, well, can you switch this? And I was like, I bet. And I sent it back to them again. And they was like, all right, can you come into the office? So they brought me in. They was like, she wants you to do this for the full tour. Can you do this for the, the whole tour? And I was like, bet, I can't. It was like, I kind of was doing that already because I do that with my own shows. My shows are always like, I incorporate, not just like me rapping or singing, but just like doing a beat, bringing in soundscape. Things. So it was like, okay, I'm going to do that, but like bring it into her world and bring it into this world where it's like a city that's putting together this show, So yeah, once I got in that door, that's went ham, I did all her YouTube, like documentary stuff. I scored and Ivy Park stuff and, Lemonade, and produced Sorry, wrote a Hold Up. And I'm just
find your way back.
Like, I've been working with her. I've been on
this Move.
Move. Move. And I did, Move, Find Your Way Back remix. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I got a lot of Boss on the Carters,
I love the calls on Boss.
Yeah.
I love this. Yeah.
That one. So they use some of my like samples in there. I mean, like hi-hats or something. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got in that door, and I just kept going. I've been a part of every project in some capacity that she's done, for the last like 10 years since I've started working.
The spicy sound, the spicy element, what, you're from Caribbean, West Indies, when you make a food, when you make a food, that's good. But sometimes you make you need, spice, something like this. That's
like
nice.
It moves, like her song "Move." There's a Jamaican lady in the background screaming, like talking. That's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, move out there, move, yeah, move. That's me saying that shit. I just words I like switched it around, and it was part of like I said a bunch of stuff, but that was also part of a sample pack that I've been working on, and I was saying move in it, so I was like, that's fire. Let me put that in the beat that I'm working off of, and then they end up using it in there.
Even the switch of the beat.
Oh yeah,
and that's crazy because at first I didn't
P2J and Guilty Beats.
I didn't know it was you. I see what is it, and
it's a collaboration. No, I would say it's this like Guilty Beats and P2J.
Okay. P2J, yeah, shout out to him, yeah.
And for me, it's like they incorporate a lot of my samples into the production as well. So
nice. So yes, I know you work with your own project. People, if you don't know his own project, that's crazy. You have to hear all his discography. I think you will learn a lot of things, even for how you make arrangements.
You can speak about the Wake and Bake project.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Yes. So Melo-X sent me some unreleased, for his first next album, and the next project Wake and Bake. If you follow him on Instagram and or social media, that's crazy. That's crazy because the future projects is really like Caribbean, future, and vintage, and lo-fi and R&B. And I think it's your best project for the album. I think it will be your
the album. Yeah, thank you, Thank you. That's dope.
No, I think really it's really next level, and it can change, lot of more for you. I think because as I told you, I hear a lot of for your productions. Even I didn't know it was you because sometimes I don't, I don't. Oh, what? And I said, really, that's the one. And every time it's you, I say, what is it even for boss, So yes, even I told you little bit. You have to make a video, man. You have to shoot it, Like
that song actually was used.
I don't know, but you have to shoot this.
Yeah, no, it has to. It has to. It was that song was used for a Michael Kors ad for the I think like 40th year anniversary month.
Really?
My friend.
No.
Yeah. Some of my friends collaborated with him. My guy Anthony shot it, and yeah. So it was used before. So it's been people got like a little sneak peek. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. That's like for me the hit. The big hit is really.
Okay.
You said like 20 times. That's what I was outside. I was listening. I was in my car. I was listening. I said, "Oh, I have to stop." So
that's what I. That's what I want. You see me, I say.
Yeah, and I love how you. The effect on the voices. It's really minimalist. I told you best. I don't know. And yes, I have a question because is the bass is Roland is a vintage bass that you use for the bass.
On which one? On
Little Bit.
On Little Bit. Yeah, I might have used that on there.
Yeah, because I
love the small mini one, but I might have at Jesse's studio, and he got one. You got some, yeah, I might have did that. I got to look at it. I'll bring up the session.
Yeah, because I love this bass. I remember bass I love, and it was so simple. I never think about music. It was so simple, just mix and simple, dancehall,
Too. I started that on the iPad.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, the drums and like the keys, I think it's on the iPad. Then I wrote to it, and then me, Jesse, and Machine Drum kind of finished it up. But the initial, the skeleton on the album, that's probably like one of the tracks that was like that might be a full iPad beat besides some keys and bass stuff. But yeah.
Nice.
Thank
So,
you. I appreciate it.
yeah, no, it's cool. It's really amazing. I can't wait till everything is released. As I say, your family and your wife, man, release, man.
Yeah.
Stop playing,
Oh, look, the Wake and Bake right now, I'm in the initial season. So I'm starting with my Wake and Bake project. It obviously started out as Wake and Bake, waking up and smoking, but really it's like waking up and making something, or waking up and like getting something, or getting your mind acclimated to like the day or what's gonna happen. Reading or breathing or cooking, actually baking. You know what I'm saying? I'll be baking in the morning sometimes. But yeah, so that, and then also for me, every morning I do, finger drumming, just exercise, sample stuff. So I started showing that on Instagram, and it just kind of grew and was like, catching mad views and viral stuff. And I was like, all right, you know what? This is a nice place for me to like bring some of this music that I've been wanting to put out. I kind of work on stuff and build albums. I build a whole world, and then I kind of like plant it. And when I plant it, it's like I'm playing it for friends. I'm playing it when I DJ. Every set, I'm playing new things that, sending it to certain friends, sending it to people like you. That's like the planting stage of like, you saying you like Liquor Bill. I'm like, oh, the last 5 homies said they like Liquor Bill. Okay, that's the one. All right, thanks. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like planting it and then bringing it out. So I feel like planting those ideas and then having Wake and Bake, I'm like, that this is a series that I could like put my rhythms, my songs, remixes. It's like my sound that just for me. I took a lot of years of like working in industry, working on stuff, sending music, but
now it's you.
About to go up. Yeah. So I have, a 6-part series. It starts probably like next month. I started putting stuff online now, but within the next like 3 or 4 months, it's going to start coming out on streaming services every month, just like volumes, beats, rhythms as I make them, doing them live and then uploading them there. Just
nice. We make all the links below the video and on the site of
yes, please.
Yes. So family.
But dude, look, I'm definitely gonna do one where I just source all the sounds from Afroplug. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
Start and finish with like Afroplug and see where that goes. Cause I told you already, like I was familiar with it, but I never signed up. I never even really signed up for Splice. I got on Splice when I put my first sound pack, and they gave me mad credits. So I do have a sound pack on there, but Afroplug, I'm like, oh nah, this is sad. I'm like, this feel like me right here. Like, oh, I'm about to turn up. So for the Wake and Bake series, as I film myself doing beats and remixes, I'm gonna incorporate, I'm gonna incorporate some of Afroplug, definitely.
Yeah, so it would be a whole lot.
Everything that I've heard and seen on there, I'm like, it just catered to my mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like makes sense,
Yes. The family, your family represent Afroplug. Really, I like the definition. Futuristic, tech,
yes,
black music, innovation. So yes, as you know, you inspire me too for the tech, even unconsciously, because I saw you make before I was even know I would make Afroplug. You make an app. I remember you make an app. I say what? But I said, and so how did it happen? How did you have the idea? Because I think you're really connected for the future and really innovative, So how did it happen?
I think it was around, can't remember. It was probably around 2013 or 14 when I got the initial idea. I just was like, I just felt like I had so much MP3s and music on my laptop or my phone. And I remember when I used to like have to open a CD or have to like look at, I remember reading the credits to learn about producers and stuff. So, I was just kind of missing that. And I wanted people to be able to still use their phone, listen to my music, but alter it in a way. I wanted everybody listening experience to be different or curated to them. It was the idea for the name. So I put out the first app, which was just 5 songs, and it featured Kilo Keish, Little Sims, Raury, and some tracks for me. And that app, you could download it, and then with this octahedron shape that we designed, you could add effects, to the song, different effects, pick different, you could expand it, close it. So it blew up. People loved it. Like, it blew up, and I was like, it's lit. So, me and my guy, Lou August, we was just like, all right, how can we update it? I was like getting more into apps as well. And I'm like, I want people to use my app to create. Like, I want people to create with Melo-X tools. So we was like, let's, do the version 2 of the app. So version 2 of the app now, you can like bring in your own music. You can make loops. You could like record yourself. You could, we have like fader sections for each effect. So when that came out, it was like, we had like, I think even now I think we have like 10,000 users now, but it was when it first came out, because we haven't done any ads, nothing, just like producers will even like, yo, I use your app, yo. I use your app. I'm like, word? Okay. So like, it's kind of like at that level, but we're now working on version 3 and like bringing it into the plugin world and like, being able to have the samples, just figuring things out, just like creating, just being inspired by you too. When I was doing research on my own sample packs and like other sites and things, Afroplug definitely came up, and I was like,
oh, thank you.
Somebody doing it. That's crazy. And it looked good. I'm like,
Your face, it's funny. Yes, but I will tell you, yes, we like.
amazing. I was like, wow.
Yes, so,
Yep.
but when the plugin will be released, we'll be there, that's a
Oh,
problem.
yeah. That's what we're in the development stage now, and see, just like getting funding and stuff, collaborating, and figuring out like how we take the next step to make it like, okay, people are using this to, not only to like on some secret, but like they using it now, putting up ads and all that. We haven't done any of that. It was just really like a passion project that became like people actually like it.
But it's like, it's really futuristic because right now, actually, with AI, every artist try to find a way to be more connected with the fans, and you find it like way before, so that's crazy, and
That's the thing,
you have to make a pattern, you have to protect your idea, maybe. Because
we definitely researched that and how far we could go. We got some things, but yeah, I'm kind of one of those people that I be onto things before, but just not before everybody, because I was inspired by a lot of people at that time, I think
everybody is inspired by someone. That's normal.
so. But it's like now I kind of realize, okay, when I'm real passionate about things, I need to make it, just like I need to plant it and let it grow a bit, so like everything else could catch up to where now, like that's why my music has come out now. That's why I got the album that I played now, when it's like, oh, y'all get it now. Bet.
That's great, As I told you, you make that's some amazing accomplishment, So it's really inspiring. But in the music industry, sometimes you have struggles too. So I really, you speak about it. Maybe your worst experience, and then in the lesson you learn, for producer really to understand, is that just joy every time and wow, everybody's on Walt Disney,
Yeah.
So
I would say one of the things that I guess would be You know, I wouldn't put on a specific, I'll just say in general, it's like people wasting your time, you know, or not having the right people around you that maybe fully believe in your vision, your idea, could see aspects you're not thinking about and bring it in and like focus, help me focus, or like help you focus and like, you know, hit the nail on the head or whatever. Sometimes people just have you kind of flowing around in kind of a ring of things that they understand. It's like they just know how to plug and play, you know. So yeah, I've been in a lot of different situations, you know, people not understanding how to really utilize everything that I do. But then I've been in great situations where people understand, like, I could do this, I could do that, I could work on this, that, you know, like Jesse's a person who knows I could do this, that, but he's like, yo, focus on this. Because if you do this right here, it's over. And I'm like, man, boom, focus on this, send him stuff. He's like, oh, yeah. You know, Beyonce is one of them. She's like, I know you did this, but can you also do this? And I know you do that, but also do that, right? And then that, I'm like, yes, yep, yep. You know, so it's just, it's twofold, you know what I'm saying? It's both sides. But yeah, I don't know if that answered the question good enough. But yeah.
Okay, so what tips what one tips or two tips you can give a beginning producer?
I would say speak up for yourself. If you don't like the energy, if you don't like the room, if you don't like how somebody's speaking to you or about you to other people, specifically if you're working with, like, you know, companies or whoever, I would say speak up as much as you can. The more you speak up, the more you create those tension moments early on with whoever you're working with, company, partnerships, whatever. Love getting that out the way, it just makes it smooth when people know like your intent and what you command and expect up front. You know, I would say that, especially as an independent artist, or even an artist that's signed. You got mad people on a payroll that's signed that's supposed to be like in your best interest. You know, make sure that they are in your best interest. Sometimes, for me, I'm like an artist. I could be a recluse. You know, I could just be in the back cave. That's like my comfort zone, but, you know, could be taken advantage of. So it's just like, speak up for yourself. Let people know what it is from the jump, what you demand. I would also say, you know, stay away from the word perpetuity. Hate that word in contracts, perpetuity.
What does it mean?
Perpetuity, it mean like forever and ever and ever. Nothing in perpetuity. Like, no matter whatever change, whatever go on, what we say this contract is what it is. Like,
okay.
So I'd be removing that from a lot of my contracts, like, for certain things, you know. Yeah, and read those words on that paper, man. Every deal ain't a good deal, you know. It's good to be indie, but it's also real good to understand your worth, understand publishing, understand how you could take your catalog, move it here, here. You know, it's like real estate. It's like having land, or having a building, having tenants, and, you know, having somebody interested in buying the building with the tenants in it, or just buying one tenant, just getting the license for one room or one. I think about it like that with my music. And I've been able to kind of move my publishing and my things around to fit what I'm doing. So yeah, just make sure you understand what you're signing, what you're writing. That's a magical piece of paper. Them words, you know, them words on that paper is magic. So I would say that for any artist, any level, read them words on that paper and do good business. You know?
Yes.
Music business. The music side.
Talent is not enough. Talent is not enough, you know, because we
can't tell you about the music side. Right. I can't tell you about the music side because I could tell you what inspires me, how I make music, but I love all different kinds of music, and music is natural. Like my daughter singing is music to somebody playing from a speaker is energy music. I love it. Business side is totally Another thing.
Right, good one.
Business runs a certain way. You know what I mean? Things got to be done a certain way for business to be done correctly. And when they line up, it's magic.
Yes. You remember, I don't know if you read the 21 Law of Robert Greene. Robert Greene, you don't know?
Which law? Which one?
21 Law with Robert Greene, and he even make a book with 50 Cent.
Yeah. I recently read. That's all I was gonna say. I recently read the 50 Cent book, the 50th.
You have to read to the 21 Law. That was crazy because some of the lesson you said is on the book, And
Nice.
yes, that's really
Yeah,
yeah.
that's usually how I get put onto books. Is I just talk about like how I feel about things. People will give me a book and then I get it and actually read it.
Damn.
I be reading, y'all.
Nah, man. When they said, everything is on the book, you have to read, I think for me, really an artist, a producer, music producer, really to not just making music, you have to live, you have to read, you have to make sports, you have to travel, you have to experience things, your people, yes. Not just be there on the computer behind, sometimes I know producers, sometimes we forgot ourselves, sometimes we want just,
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time. Sometimes my wife is like, get out the house. Go out tonight. Go to that party. You go into that party. I'm like, I am without.
When you're on the party, you like this.
I'm in the corner, like, but I'm. That's the thing with me is like I'm naturally that, but for most of my career, I was in the field, like DJing, touring, like parties, hosting parties. I was like doing a party every single night for like years, like running up New York City, downtown NY. Like I was in there. You know what I mean? I had an event, just like every night DJing and doing open mics too, performing. So like I've been outside. So like now it's like
chill.
Change diapers.
Diapers rhythm, son. Diapers really fun.
Right, diapers rhythm coming soon. But it's good to get out, and I'm glad that once again I have people like my wife or my friends that surround me that's like, nah, get out, because I always feel good when I actually go out and meet new people, just hear music. I always have to go out to hear the music that's being played outside. I have to see people's energy to certain songs to be like, okay, man. Like I want to.
Even me, sometimes when I went to party with friends, I use some, Afro music. I say, I never think about it,
Yeah.
I'm inspired, the drum or something, So before that, I do dance, I analyze, analyzing. So yeah. Okay, so thank you for this interview, Melo-X.
Thank you, yo. Look, I appreciate it. You already know. Shouts to Afroplug. Big up Afroplug. Shouts to all the producers on here, the writers. Shouts to the AI. One day you might be able to see this AI. So shouts to you holding it down. Beta. But shouts to like building community. Shouts to you for building community. I feel like that's not even the future. That's the land we in now. It's like you could build your own world and just like feed your world, feed your people, and they'll feed you back. And just a great ecosystem, They put in, they get out. You put in, you get out. Just, cycle.
As I said, from your Afroplug, it's not just all people say, oh, it's the Afro splice on things like this. No, I just really to be really in my niche and my zone because I love it. I love the earth, the Afro jazz pop music, and I think I want really quality, even I don't care if you're Chinese, you from I don't know Colombia, but if you want like the really good shit,
Right.
Right.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
See the goal.
Yeah. That's what I felt like when I was looking things up and then I see Afroplug and I was just like, oh, somebody's doing it already. Like, yes, okay, somebody's doing it. Like, curating out of all the sounds that we hear, all the things, like curating a space for like this kind of shit. Yes.
So thank you. And thanks for everyone who listened to this podcast. And see you. Bye-bye.